Analyzing how human relationships actually function requires us to discard the metaphors of poetry and popular culture. Our intuition about romance is remarkably unreliable. To study human connections scientifically, researchers leave behind subjective ideas about soulmates or destiny in favor of strict, measurable psychological constructs. The first foundational term in this science is attraction. In psychology, this word is stripped of its purely romantic connotations. Attraction is strictly a generalized mechanism for liking. The identical psychological processes govern romantic partnerships, platonic friendships, and pets. To measure this intensity, researchers use evaluation, a positive or negative reaction. Quantifying these reactions converts subjective feelings into hard, graphable data. Standardizing the measurement of attraction and evaluation allows researchers to build predictive models. These reveal the deep biological imperatives that drive all human affiliation. Psychologists rely on specialized models to forecast relationship viability based on these evaluation metrics. The first framework consists of prescriptive models. These outline how a perfectly rational human should process relationship information, calculating an exact balance of costs and benefits. But human beings rarely perform perfect cost-benefit analyses, creating a limitation for prescriptive accuracy. This requires descriptive models, which map how humans actually process data, incorporating our cognitive errors, emotional loops, and biases. Even though they map irrational processes, descriptive models generate behavioral predictions with high mathematical accuracy. These models succeed because they account for the specific psychological utility that relationships provide, a concept quantified in Craig Hill's 1987 research. Hill identified 4 primary benefits. Top left, affiliation offers emotional regulation, allowing us to rebound from negative states. Top right, relationships provide positive self-information, elevating self-esteem. Bottom left represents social validation, the confirmation of shared emotional realities. Finally, bottom right shows social comparison, providing a benchmark when objective feedback is missing. Descriptive models recognize that we are not seeking rational transactions, but vital psychological anchors that stabilize our perception of reality. These psychological benefits act as triggers for a massive physiological regulatory system. To map these mechanisms, social psychologist John Cacioppo reviewed 81 studies examining how social support alters human biology. The data shows a direct impact on cardiovascular function. Individuals with stable social networks exhibit lower heart rates and stabilized blood pressure. This regulation extends to the endocrine system. Under stress, adrenal glands release a cascade of hormones. Social affiliation suppresses the release of catecholamines, like epinephrine, limiting the stress experience. This suppression includes cortisol, preventing the secondary impairment of the immune system. Research beyond Cacioppo's work has tracked these effects into the digestive system, as seen in a 2019 study on gut microbiota. Individuals in close partnerships actually alter their internal biomes, sharing more similar bacterial profiles with partners and exhibiting higher microbiota diversity. Social support acts as a biological transduction mechanism, governing our internal physiological survival. The most extreme evidence of this power is the ability of affiliation to override the brain's processing of physical trauma. In 2010, researchers placed participants who were experiencing intense new love inside an fMRI scanner, subjecting them to varying levels of thermal pain. The researchers recorded brain activity as participants viewed a photograph of an acquaintance versus a photograph of their romantic partner. When participants viewed their partner, neural nodes in the reward centers of the brain illuminated, despite exposure to high thermal pain. This activation in the reward center dampened the activity in the regions responsible for processing physical pain. Affiliation functions as a measurable neurological analgesic. The psychological evaluation of a partner alters our perception of physical reality. The study of human connection is an architectural framework of measurable data. By redefining attraction as a quantifiable metric, we use descriptive models to predict behavior with mathematical precision. This predictive power results from connection being tied to deep biological survival mechanisms. The drive for affiliation is a fundamental biological regulatory system, one that dictates endocrine balance, neurological pain response, and systemic health. We are hardwired to seek connection to survive.